Well, PNG will enter the NRL competition in 2028 in a $600 million 10-year deal to be funded by the Australian taxpayer. The sweetener here, though, is to keep China at bay from our northern neighbour. Joining us live now is the NRL Chief Executive, Andrew Abdo. Andrew, good to see you. Thanks for your time this morning. So, we are always told sport and politics shouldn't mix. Well, it sure does here, but what makes you think it's going to work?
Well, this is a transformative deal. What a wonderful opportunity this presents for us. Papua New Guinea, our closest neighbour, Port Moresby, the closest capital to Australia, and a country that just simply loves rugby league. And for us, this is an opportunity over the next 10 years to develop pathways and to provide rugby league as a sport that really unifies our region. It's a language that everyone understands, and it brings us closer together. In a country that is so diverse, one of the most diverse countries in the world, over 800 languages, but there is one they all speak and they love, and that's rugby league.
Yeah.
And we are incredibly excited because this is a multifaceted way in which we can transform our relationship with this country, but also it's well beyond sport. This is a societal and economic transformation opportunity.
Andrew, I think I'm correct in saying that any league fan, and I'm one of them, will want this to be a success, but recruitment is critical here. So how confident are you that players will want to be in Port Moresby, which is so hot and so dangerous?
Yeah, you've got to look at this in two approaches. The long-term opportunity is immense. As I said to you, over 10 million people. We know that if we can invest in, and we will, and part of this project is to invest in pathways, in schools and in clubs and in academies, and create coaching facilities that's going to develop and unlock talent, not just for this team, but for the wider NRL and all the other clubs. So this is really about unlocking a massive talent pipeline long term. And obviously, as this franchise is set up and this club enters the competition into 2028, there will be an element of recruitment while those pathways still take place. Recruitment not just of players, but of staff. Who wouldn't want to be part of something new? And we saw the impact of the Dolphins and how they were able to recruit and create a culture.
Yeah.
It'll be no different for this. These will be players that have the opportunity to become national heroes, to be part of a world-class centre of excellence, a state-of-the-art facility, a fit-for-purpose, custom-built residential facility funded by the PNG government.
Okay.
It's a compelling opportunity, I think, for young players.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, Port Moresby is obviously very different to Brisbane, but how's security going to be handled? Is it PNG? Is it AFP? Is it military? Club's own security? Is it a bit of all of the above?
Well, you've got to remember, we're doing this already. For a decade, we've been playing matches in PNG. The Prime Minister's match has been played there for many years now. The PNG Hunters play in the State Cup competition, so it's already happening. We're flying in and flying out teams and playing professional football in PNG already in Port Moresby at Santos Stadium. For the last 2 years, we've played the Pacific Championship, so we've seen international fixtures there. So it's already happening, it's already on the road, and this will just be an expansion of that. And obviously security is a concern. We have a plan in place, and we'll be working with the PNG government, who are committed to investing significant infrastructure in the broader capital, not just around the sports precinct.
Okay. Obviously, the tax breaks is a big plus for anyone who wants to play for PNG, but do you know of any marquee players at the moment who are interested? Has anyone put their hand up yet?
No, it's too early for that. I mean, Obviously, there's a lot of work that needs to happen now. The focus right now is on the investment into pathways and in developing and nurturing local talent, and the coaching and the mentoring that needs to take place. The infrastructure, setting up making sure the Centre of Excellence is in place, the board, the management team, the commercial program of the club. The recruitment will only happen in line with the salary cap rules on 1 November in the year before. So it's way too early to be talking about recruitment of players, but I'm just excited to see what players come out of PNG.
So if PNG is seduced by China in the end, I mean, it's the elephant in the room here. I mean, you're the administrator. How would it go if a clause is breached? Does the government tap you on the shoulder and say, look, this thing is off? Or how much involvement would you have on the political side of things?
No, we're not involved in the political element of this. I mean, this is obviously a project that we're calling the Pacific Partnership that's all about rugby league. Look, this is a complicated long-term project, and like any complicated long-term project, the deal caters for many risk management circumstances. And really, to be honest, this is well beyond just the PNG franchise. You've got to remember, this is an investment into multiple countries. It's not just PNG. It's also Samoa, Tonga, Fiji. This is about making rugby league the sport of the Pacific. It's multifaceted. It's not just about the enterprise of the bid team playing in the NRL. It's way more than that.
Okay. Just a final one here, Andrew. The next franchise to be announced in a few weeks, apparently. Can you give us a tease on who that's going to be?
I mean, how good is it that as a sport we're talking about growth, we're talking about expansion, not just the men's game, but the women's game as well. Next year we have 2 new teams entering the NRLW, which is pretty exciting for us, the Bulldogs and the Warriors. And there's lots of interest. We've been in positive talks with the Western Australian government for a number of months now. They are super keen to have a franchise.
The Bears,
in
are we
Western
going?
Australia,
is that happening?
Well, we're in talks. It's positive, but we don't have anything that's finalised. But we're hard at work looking at the opportunity, and it has to have a strong, positive business case for rugby league. And if it does, that's then something that we'll talk about when the time comes.
Okay, Andrew Abdo, really good to have you with us this morning. Really appreciate it. Thank you, and best of luck in the days, weeks, months, years ahead.